2. And let's see if it picks those up. It does. There's 1. There's 2. Excellent. Welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. If you're watching live, that's awesome. If you're watching this and it is not Thursday, May 21st at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that means you're watching a recording of it, and that's awesome. And if you are watching the recording, this is a live stream, so we are chatting. Welcome in, whether you're live or not. We're doing some baking today. We're making cookies from this cookbook, 100 Cookies by Sarah Kieffer. A friend of the stream purchased this for me 2 years ago, maybe at this point. And we've made a bunch of cookies from this, and we're making a new one that I haven't actually made yet. It's not a new cookie. It's the classic chocolate chip cookie, in fact. It is the one that is the first recipe in the book, soft chocolate chip cookies. So this is what we are attempting today. I do not have a cookie jar like that to put them in, unfortunately, but we're going to give it a try anyway. If you're joining us on YouTube and you're watching the recording, thank you. Please like the channel. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. That's right. It helps the algorithm. The algorithm helps me. And that means that, I don't know, it means something. I would appreciate it. It would mean something to me personally if you hit subscribe. I'll wait. Okay, thanks. But welcome in. My name's Lou. I'm a home cook. I develop recipes. I'm a parent. I live in Philadelphia. Our stream is live, so I will be responding to chat messages that are both on YouTube and on Twitch. If you are watching this after the live, you can see on the vertical stream that the chat will be somewhere around here and up. So feel free to turn the YouTube chat replay off and just take a look on the actual stream. And then if you're watching on the horizontal, it's going to be down here somewhere underneath of my hand. And that'll show messages from Twitch and YouTube. And that is quite nice. The community, our live stream community, is very conversational. We talk a lot about cooking, but we also just generally talk. It's like you're hanging out at the kitchen counter while your friend is cooking. Hello, it's me. I'm your friend. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make some cookies. Short and sweet stream today. Pretty easy one. And for those of you who are watching live, just a heads up, not a heads up, likes on or follows on Twitch and subscribes on YouTube are completely silent, so they're anonymous. If you want to like the channel or subscribe to the channel or follow the channel and just be anonymous and continue lurking, that's amazing. Please feel free to do that. So we're gonna get started. Robbie, welcome in. Good to see you. Congrats on your 220th check-in. I hope you're doing well. Muffin Guy, hello. Where are you from? Philadelphia. Where am I currently? Where do I reside? Philadelphia. Where are you from is a fraught question in this city, because if someone asks you where are you from and you didn't grow up in the city of Philadelphia, and they like question you after it, you're in trouble. There's a clip of this. I forget. It's from New Year's Day, and it's a clip of someone when I was live asking me where are you from, and I mistakenly said Philadelphia, and their immediate next question, which is always the next question that people who are literally born in the city ask you, is where'd you go to high school? To which I had to respond, well, I didn't go to high school in the city. And then the guy was like, oh, and so anyway, I've lived in Philadelphia for longer than I've lived anywhere else in my life. So where am I? Philadelphia, state of Pennsylvania, East Coast, United States, Ohio. I've been there. I drove through Ohio from Pennsylvania. It took 12 hours, which was a long time. And Cincinnati and Cleveland are much farther apart than I thought they would be. Shart, welcome in. Hello. Velos, good to see you. Welcome. Happy Friday, Junior. We're getting started today. Again, I said this is going to be a shorter stream, so we're literally going to bake cookies and then that's it. Because I have a little bit more prep to do for camping, and I have a concert, a child's orchestra concert to get to this evening. It's the last show of the year. We're done with orchestra for the year after today, which is amazing, which means no more carrying your trumpet or your violin on the bus. No more early, stupid o'clock early morning rehearsals. We're all very excited. Let's read this recipe in totality so that there's no surprises. Then we're going to get out our ingredients and we're going to start baking. So pretty straightforward. Hopefully. I gave like a cursory read to this. So right before stream today, like an hour before stream, I was like, I don't know what, I'm going to make some cookies, but I don't know which ones. So I presented Gwen a couple options and she picked these. And that is that. Velo says Twitch is not my friend today. Yeah, Twitch is having some issues today. I think the AP I've had a couple errors on stream, and I've had a couple not errors, but I've had a couple errors in like the chat client that I'm using here and the chat client that I'm using here, which are two different chat clients. So I don't think it's just you. I do think that there's some issues on the Twitch end today. Normal. I'm guessing that they like good software platforms deployed some code overnight on a night that wasn't a Friday. Adjust an oven rack to the middle of the oven. Preheat the oven to 350. Line 3 sheet pans with parchment paper. So we're going to do probably 2 sheet pans. This says that it makes about 20 cookies. So I've got 2 like big sheet pans. We'll probably do that. In a medium bowl, whisk together the flour, baking soda, and salt. In the bowl of the stand mixer, fitted with a paddle, beat the butter on medium speed until creamy, about 1 minute. Add the granulated and brown sugars and beat on medium speed until light and fluffy, 2 to 3 minutes. Scrape down the sides of the bowl. Add the eggs and vanilla and mix until smooth. Add the flour mixture and beat on low speed until just combined. Add the chocolate and mix into the batter on low speed. Form the dough into 45-gram balls. We love that this gives not only grams, but ounces and tablespoons. So this tells you 3 different ways to measure these cookies. And place 8 cookies on each sheet pan. So they're assuming that you're using a half-size sheet pan. I'm using a full-size sheet pan, so I'm pretty sure I can fit 10, possibly 12 on my sheet pan. Bake 1 pan at a time, rotating halfway through baking. Bake for 8 minutes until the cookies are slightly puffed in the center. Give the pan a slight tap in the oven. Bake the cookies until the edges are just turning golden brown, but the center is still soft. 2 or 3 minutes more. 10 to 11 minutes total. Give the pan one final tap in the oven and then transfer the pan to a wire rack to cool. Let the cookies cool completely before removing from the pan. That's a different direction than what we usually get, which is let the cookies cool for X number of minutes and then transfer them to a wire rack. When pulled from the oven, the cookies will look puffed and light in color, but they will slowly deflate as they cool in the pan. Store cookies in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 5 days. Note, using chocolate chips instead of chopped chocolate will make for a puffier cookie. Okay, so what does this call for? 7 ounces of semi-sweet or bittersweet chocolate chopped into bite-sized pieces, or 1 1/4 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Okay, so let's get ingredients out now. I'm pretty sure I have all the ingredients for this. I'm going to get out another, some more butter here. Now this butter is obviously frozen, which we don't love. But I'm wondering if I should make a double batch of this, because I always do double batches of like everything. It's like I can't function. I don't know how to make cookies in like a single batch. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bake 1 batch of these. This butter is frozen, so it's gonna be a bit. I'm just gonna get it out because if we don't make a double batch, it's fine. I'll put it in the refrigerator. I have butter that's out on the counter now. This is been out for, I don't know, 40 minutes, something like that. So it hasn't been out for too long. But it's got to be at room temperature, and we're whipping it in the mixer anyway. Okay, so let's get out our ingredients. So I need to make my way over to the baking cabinet for just a moment. Moondice, hello, welcome in. Double batch all the way. I know I almost always make a double batch. I can't remember the last time I've just looked at I've had a cookie recipe and been like, I'm just going to make one batch of these. The only thing that I think is limiting on this is the let them cool completely on the sheet pan note, because as y'all know, I like to take and sort of use the sheet pan. I like to keep a sheet pan going in the oven at all times while we're baking. So having a sheet pan be out of commission for like 20 to 30 minutes is like, I don't know about that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the ingredients out. We're gonna make a single batch of this. If we have time and it makes sense to do a second batch, we will. I might also make a second batch of these and just not bake them. I might roll them into the balls that that it calls for, and pop those in the freezer, because that is also nice to have. Ingredients. Let's get out our ingredients for just a moment here. I'm going to come over to the baking cabinet, and we're going to get out baking soda. So this is baking, hold on, there it is, baking soda. Salt is on my counter by the oven. I need to get out dark brown sugar, granulated sugar. It doesn't say dark brown sugar, it just says brown sugar. So really either one. Eggs are in the fridge. Pure vanilla extract. Where is the vanilla? We're going to use the good vanilla today, because these are just, we're not doing like 10 batches here. Flour. The flour is in the back of the cabinet, so we get that out last. Okay, flour. And then let's bring these over to the counter here. And then chocolate chips. I don't it calls for like a bar, chocolate bar chopped up. We'll see what we have. I don't know if I actually have a chocolate bar in here, but I might. And if not, I know that I have chocolate chips. I was musing a few minutes before, as I was setting up for stream today. Actually, after it already hit the go live button, but before I was live, I was like, I wonder if we have chocolate chips. It would be bad if we didn't. Okay, not that bad. I mean, it would be annoying. Let's see. Well, here's what we have for chocolate today. We have 100% unsweetened chocolate, 70% bittersweet chocolate. We have milk chocolate baking chips, and then semi-sweet baking chips. Where did my cookbook go? There it is. Okay. I'm like, I moved the cookbook, and now it's all the way over here. Okay, so this calls for semi-sweet or bittersweet chocolate. I'm going to use the bittersweet chocolate. I'm going to use this. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the last bit of this unsweetened chocolate. I'm going to chop this up, because this is only, these are 1 ounce squares. Each 4-ounce bar contains a ½ ounce section. So this is 1 ounce. I need 7 ounces of chocolate. So this whole box is 6 ounces. 3 2-ounce bars. So this actually works out really well because I've got 6 ounces in here and 1 ounce of this unsweetened chocolate. And I can just use that and we'll make that work. Okay, perfect. So I can actually use that, and these chips that are, these are unopened, so I can just continue to not open those. Fantastic. I also have a massive, I just realized that in the cabinet, the baking cabinet here, I have like this box, this like little box that has like, that has like chocolate in it. And then I just realized that that box is sitting on top of a like 2 to 3 pound bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So we have a lot of chocolate. I'm glad that the consensus today, or the request today, was for chocolate chip cookies. That's much nicer. Okay, so I need to get out my mixer too. It's much nicer because I'm actually using some of the ingredients that are in the house. So get the stand mixer and the paddle attachment out. Stand mixer. Paddle attachment. Whoop. There's that. Okay, we're putting the Dutch oven back. We're putting the toaster back. We're coming back over to the counter here. Thank you for your resub. 44 months. Tier 2 resub. I appreciate you. It is 12, 24, 36, 48. So, okay. I'm like, is that a multiple of 6 months? It's not, but it's very close. It's very close. Robster, welcome in. You know what's perfect? A circle. Finite singularity. Welcome in. Welcome in. You are. Aw, thank you. Thank you. I blush. I got a new. I say I blush. I got a new face lotion today. I'm using it. My face is less oily than usual. It's kind of nice. Anyway, what book is that? We're cooking out of this book today. This book is 100 Cookies. It is by Sarah Kieffer. This is a book that a friend of the stream purchased. It came to the PO box like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. I made a bunch of recipes out of it. It was probably 2 years ago. It might have been 3. I don't know. I don't remember how long ago it was that I got this book. Mark, do you have a favorite recipe? Pan banging snickerdoodles. Okay. I'm did I make those? I'm with you. I feel like I'm with you on that one. I almost made snickerdoodles today. I almost made those snickerdoodles, in fact. I didn't, or I'm not. My partner was like, I want the chocolate chip cookies today. So that's what we got. But that's what we're getting. That's what we're having. That's what we're making. Oh my God, fucking words are not happening today. I've definitely made something pan banging. Or have I made the snickerdoodle? So when I use a cookbook, right? So you can see on the spine here all these pink Post-it notes. Those are ones that I've made, and then the blue ones are ones that I would like to make. Have I made? I've made the pan. I wanted to make the pan banging chocolate chip cookies today. I consider those were a consideration. I have made the toasted sesame cookies. Those we did for Cookie Club. The ginger molasses cookies. I have made the snickerdoodles. Yes. I don't recall when I made them, but the pink post-it note lets me know that I did make them. That is an excellent endorsement, honestly. Speaking of endorsements, if you're hanging out here, Finite Singularity, aka Mark, or Mark, aka Finite Singularity, that's how it goes. Is a friend of the stream, fellow non non-gaming streamer, fellow like adult dad type of person who has limited time for streaming and makes the most of it by developing these, by doing coding and development live, like specifically for streaming. So if you hang out in Mark's stream, you'll end up seeing OBS and StreamerBot specifically like doing things that you're not, that are like, oh, I didn't know that you could do that. Like, I didn't know that OBS could do that. Develops plugins, works on a bunch of things that you've definitely heard of, and is like an actual genuinely nice human being as well, which is which is nice. But I would encourage you to go follow, because if you're like, what do you mean live development? Like watching someone write code? Man, that's kind of weird. No, it's not. You're watching someone cook, so like maybe take a pause. You can't eat code, but you can consume it. Shit. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know where I was going with that one. Back to the book. Anyway, yes. Moon Dice. Why have I not color coordinated my bookmarks? For me, because here's what I do. When I get a new cookbook, I open it at page 1 and I start reading, and I read it like a literal book. Like I read the intro, I read all of the notes, I read the book. And then as I'm going through, I put like tabs on all the things that I was thinking of making, or that I would like to make, or that stand out to me. And then when I'm like, oh, what do I, for this book specifically for like cookies and that kind of thing, I'm like, oh, what pages here have like tabs on them that I haven't, that sounded good that I haven't made yet. And instead of just having like, chaos, I pick one color that means I'm done. I have many other colors. So I have like yellow, blue, orange, purple, green, whatever one comes out of the drawer first when I like grab my post-it notes. Like all of these mean the same thing. They just mean I haven't made the recipe yet. There's no coordination with these. The pink means I have made this. No note about whether or not it was good or if it turned out. Although I usually, with the cookbooks, I will make that note in the book itself. I'll be like, this was good. Or, double this, or this does not double very well, or, whatever. The last one that I made, I made the note that was like, this cookie does not get flat. It stays in a ball. Did not know that. The recipe doesn't say that it stays in a ball, but it does. And they're good. They're the ones I sent out for Cookie Club this past month. They just didn't fall. So I do like to keep notes of that nature, because that's important when you're like, that cookie, what was the deal with that one? You're like, oh. We're making the soft chocolate chip cookies. Is the first cookie in the book today. It's a I say classic because it's she has like 4 or 5 different chocolate chip cookies in here. Actually, I think there's 3 that are like varietal of chocolate chip specific, meaning there's like soft, thin and crispy, brown butter, and the pan banging ones. The brown butter one's like it's like normal adjacent. But then there's other ones that are like double chocolate chip cookies, or like triple chocolate chip cookies. Those, when I say classic, I'm not counting. Those are like a different type. For me, those are a different type of chocolate chip cookie. When you say chocolate chip cookie, I have a visual in mind, and if that visual is like a dark brown, like chocolate colored cookie, that's not, to me, that's like slightly off of the mark. It's not off the mark. I mean, I'm not saying it's not good. Don't hear me when don't hear that. Okay. Cool. Yeah, the brown butter ones, I was looking at those and I was like, those look too rich to me today. I can't, like, I also just didn't want a brown butter today. Although, I did think about it because I was like, I didn't get the butter out of the fridge like when I usually like, typically I like to get the butter out of the fridge like 2 to 3 hours before I use it. Today I got it out about 20, 30, how long have I been live for? I got it out about an hour and a half ago. So the longer I talk, the better these cookies are going to be. That's not true. The longer I talk, the less cookies we'll have. Let's get started. So we have the oven that's preheated. It's ready to go. We're going to line our sheet pans, because that is always an annoying thing. I am going to line them with parchment paper because I have learned that the recipe developer typically calls for parchment paper for a reason. And that reason is because because they tested it and it works better. I'll just stop distracting you. You know, as I understand, responding and chatting is a good thing, and I would say that distracting is not the right word. Would not be my personal word choice, because if I didn't want to be distracted, I wouldn't have hit go live. There's also like, hey, I have like 3.5 hours to stream today. Let's make a recipe that takes 25 minutes. So functionally, if I put my headphones in and just like started, these would have been done already. I went live 55 minutes ago. I have ingredients and a crumbled up ball of parchment paper. We are making fucking progress today. I did not see Babish's levels of chocolate chip cookies. Is this like the Bon Appetit videos? Or maybe it's not Bon Appetit. There's some, I forget what channel it is that does the like professional, this is like home cook, a professional kitchen, and then like fine dining versions of things. It's been wild to see his evolution as a like video creator too, because that was I remember it was COVID, right, when he like got really like started to get really popular. I just like hearing his voice. Oh, he does 10 levels. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, see, oh, look at this. This one already has parchment paper on it. How did that happen? I must have had extra, or I must have only baked one batch of cookies on here. I know, right? Through the magic of streaming. We're going to try this in 2 different versions. We're going to have the crumpled up parchment paper, and we're going to have the flattened parchment paper that I cut with scissors. Let's see which one works better. We meant to do it that way. We did not. Oh, you know what's, here's an interesting, fun little aside. A couple of days ago, one of my neighbors was like, oh my God, Lou, like, I have to tell you, she's like, your parchment paper trick, it worked, like, so wild. And I was like, did we talk about this? Did we like discuss this? I don't remember talking about this with you. And she was like, oh no, it like got recommended to me on YouTube. And I saw like your short on YouTube like I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago or something, and I was like, oh, that's weird. It was a weird like thing. I wish I could take credit for it. I absolutely cannot take credit for it. The person who I learned that from doesn't stream anymore, but I did. I learned it from another. I learned it from another streamer. Oh, look at this. This is. I faked myself out because this box only. I used a bar from this box. It only has 2 in it, so I need to get another piece of that unsweetened chocolate. Okay, but we are going to get another piece of this unsweetened chocolate because because this one's already opened. So let's use that. Let's use that. And that's fine. We'll just go with that. And then I'm going to add an extra ½ ounce to it because because that was in the box. Anyway, that's really cool. I haven't seen, maybe I haven't seen his like levels videos. That's a lot of levels. It does feel strange when YouTube and Twitch mix with IRL. One of the weird things that happens with me now is my son's friends are all like YouTube consumers, right? And one of his friends like came up to me the other day and was like, "Oh, I was watching you live." And I was like, "On where? Like what platform were you on?" And he was like, "Oh, on YouTube." And I was like, "Oh, that's unique. That's interesting. Okay." I was like, "What was I saying? What was I talking about?" I hope it was fine. I don't have any like content warnings on this channel, but I occasionally dip into like something that could potentially not be appropriate for like a 10-year-old. I feel like 13 is probably the appropriate age for this channel. I don't know. We're gonna cut up our chocolate first and get that done because that's like an annoying thing to like do. Also, if I do make a double batch of this, I'm gonna need to use chips in the second batch. So like let me keep that in mind. That's a good thing because that'll actually make the second batch easier if I do have to use, or if I do decide to do that. That'll be odd. That'll be another like little test we could do, but we'll see. We'll see if we even get there. Point of fact, I'd like to be finished today. I'd like to be finished stream by 3 p.m. That would be the ideal time to wrap up for me today, because that'll give me time to finish some trip prep stuff that I need to do offline, because it's like running all around the house. Like it's not really a thing I could stream. I guess I could stream it, and I thought about it actually. I thought about doing like round the house, just like put the camera on my shoulder and like walk around, but then the house, I don't want to do that. One of my Mark Bonnie Singularity says, one of my oldest friends told your oldest kid, "Does your dad stream like boring coding stuff? I think I saw him on Twitch." My kid was mortified. That's kind of fun. What do you know what they said? Or were they like yes? And it is an acquired taste. See, for me, I don't. It's weird. In another life, I used to work at a tech company, but I didn't do any development. I was the one who talked to the client, and yeah, I talked to the clients. I was not a project manager, but I did talk to clients, and like that was basically like when I was talking to them, things had already derailed to the point where they were like really mad. If they were mad at their tech lead, front end, back end tech lead, and they were mad at their project manager, and they were mad at the director of project management, that's when I would have to talk to them, and that was not great. But it also meant that I wasn't like in the like emergency department where like, oh, things are breaking, that's bad. Anyway, where was I going with that? I know enough about development that I find it fascinating, even though I don't actually do the engineering side of it. I do find it fascinating, and I have a respect for the actual work that goes into it. And so like streams like that, I find very interesting. I can understand if you're like a younger child that maybe it's not so great, and you didn't want to talk about it. Yeah, that also tracks. I My kid is 10, and he's still in the like, he thinks it's I hesitate to use the word cool, but I don't think it's embarrassing to him. I think it's kind of novel. It's like I'm sort of like a novelty in his world. But I guess if he hits the point where more of his friend, if he hits the point where the stream gets recommended to a bunch of his friends and they like make fun of him for it or something, or like give him grief over it in some capacity, like then it will become weird, I suppose. But currently it's like, I don't know. Currently he's neutral to positive about it. And it's funny because just the other day, this was Tuesday's stream, school was closed, and like he had friends over the house, and we had like, and I was streaming, like I was live, and I was like, one of his friends came over and started to like walk over to where I am, and I was like, nope, like no non-household children on stream, please, like. And they're all just usually what happens is when his friends come over, they sort of stand right over here and like watch me for a few minutes, which is awkward for me. But I just think they don't know what to make of it. They're like, what? I don't know. It's like what is this old guy doing on the internet? You know what I mean? I think that's how they see it, which is definitely how I would have seen it when I was a kid. But I don't know. I feel like there's things that I could have been embarrassed. Plenty of things that I could have been embarrassed about with my parents, but I just wasn't. I didn't really care enough to be embarrassed. My 9 and 10-year-olds think I'm not cool, just a strange hippie dyeing fabric for a living. Harsh world, right? Yeah, and they're like, how come? I don't know. Just like, how come you have to like make me like show it off when my friends come around? Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't care. I'm like, I don't think about it in that way. I will say this. I will say that I do things like chaperone field trips, right? Like I chaperoned a field trip yesterday, and we were there all day. Like kids in his class are, they get assigned to the groups, and like I've probably chaperoned like 5 or 6 field trips this year, and every time before I do, I check in with him, and I'm like, is this okay? Like before I tell the teacher I'm available to do this, I'm like, is this okay with you? Is it going to be embarrassing? Do you care? And he, to his credit, has consistently this year been like, yes, I would love you to go. Like, I really want you to go. Like, I'm happy that you're there. So I like that. There's going to be one of these days where he is like, no, it's okay. You don't have to. Like, you don't. And I know that he'll say something like, you don't have to. And then I'll know that he doesn't. He's like, that he's cooled on the enthusiasm. Because I don't think he'll want to tell me like, no, Dad, you're the last, you embarrassed me the last time, whatever. But like this time, Trinella, you keep trying and it hasn't worked. They still think I'm funny, which is great. And that's where you want to be. You want to, I don't know. I feel like I don't try to be like a cool parent. like I don't want to be like a try-hardy sort of like, you know, that the cool parent, but like I do want to not I want him to feel comfortable with like his friends coming to the house and being like, you know, that I'm not going to be like yell at him with that over things or like be I don't know, be doing something fucking strange while he's here. Like streaming is strange enough, right? I do check in with him about it though. It's very important to me, Sarah, and I really also hello. I you know, and like so yesterday's field trip, right? So yesterday in Philadelphia it was blazingly hot. It was so hot here. And we were outside for this field trip and I was like we were going to be in the sun like all day. And I was like, "Hey, is it going to be embarrassing if I wear my massive straw hat that I wear? Like when we go canoeing, I have this hat that's like this wide. You know, it's like an outdoor sun hat for like gardening slash looking a fool. And I would wear it like, but I personally decided not to because I was like, I don't want to carry this thing around all day. But he, to his credit, he was like, no, that's fine. He's like, I don't really care. Like, he's like, I don't think anyone would care. I was like, great. Yeah. Yeah. What I'm waiting for the turn. I'm waiting for the other side of that though. Twinderella, exactly. I check in with him about a lot of stuff like that. I try to. I feel like it's important. And I know that there's certain things where I am definitely a lot more domineering over. But I think in general, I try to keep like that comfort level I want to I hope that like if there was a point where I was like where he like didn't want me to do something, I don't know, or be some kind of way around his friends, that he could tell me that, because you know, I'm consistently like, hey, it's, you know, if you want me to go on this field trip, I'm like, I'd love to go, but I don't need to go. Like, let me know what your thoughts are, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just a lot of thinking ahead. Chapstick Queen, I am overbearing in certain areas. But I feel like I'm aware of those. I'm trying to be more aware of those, and I'm trying to be a bit softer in those spaces. But sometimes you have to, like, sometimes it's just parenting. Like that's what it is. Sometimes you have to be an adult and you have to manage a 10-year-old. And sometimes that means telling them hard things, asking hard things of them, putting up with their giant emotions, not overreacting when they like slam the door and like, you know, are mad at you upstairs. Because that also happens. That happens once every 2 weeks or so. Like sometimes parenting means like often parenting means being the one who's responsible for the like saying the hard thing, and like not standing your ground is like not the best way to put that, but like staying committed to something, staying committed to a decision that you've made. That's all. Camille, I would love to work. If we do like an outdoor stream, I would love to go canoeing actually one of these days. I think that would be fun. Calvin and I are big, like firm in your choice. Better phrasing. Chapstick Queen agreed. Calvin and I are big canoers. And I think it would be fun to like do a canoeing stream. I think the closest I've gotten is your oldest rolling his eyes at your music choices. Yeah, some of the things you listen to is weird. You know what? I have a hard time. Music is weird because I'm like, kids discover music very differently nowadays. It's like all on Spotify, it's all like on the internet. I have this weird, like, there's a weird thing with music where he just like he listens to normal stuff. Like it's fine. It's not like that he listens to weird stuff, but it's like I find it hard because when I was a kid, like you just had music and then you like bought the CD and then you had the thing and you remembered it. But now it's like whenever he's listening to something, he's just creating all these playlists, and I don't. It's wild to me, like playlists, and like he asks like the smart speaker to play songs, and it's fascinating because it's just a different way of like interacting with the music world. He hasn't really started listening to anything like weird, quote unquote. He likes a lot of like modern, like sort of contemporary pop music still, or still. He likes a lot of like contemporary pop music, which is funny to me. But I do too. It's funny because when I was a kid, I listened to like alternative radio, and that was the thing. I was like, pop music sucks. Anyway, hey, can I give y'all a shout out from a music recommendation perspective? I have a new-ish to me streamer that I have been really, really loving recently. I've been loving her stream, but also her Spotify playlists. So there's a shout out to Cater FM in chat. On Tuesdays, she does a really like a very like a music discovery stream. I've been like really and it's all like pop punk and emo stuff. Like if you're not into that, then maybe you don't want. But her Spotify playlists are great, and I've actually been listening to a lot of those. And I find it hard as an elder millennial to like keep up with music discovery these days. I think that's where I was heading with all those comments. Alien Fox Mulder, welcome in. Hello. We're switching our microphone because that one was about to die because I didn't charge it before the stream. Sarah, we did create our own playlists. Yes. What is happening? Hold on. Not a bad thing. One of the cats just turned the television on. Or maybe the dog. One of the animals in the house. Oh, Daisy. Daisy literally just turned the TV on and it started like blaring. That was very jarring. The remote control was on the couch. And I was like, what just happened? Why is there loud yelling from the living room? Okay, sorry, that was abrupt. Mark, funny singularity says, my oldest discovered Blues Traveler. Dad, you need to hear this. And you're like, I remember John Popper when he was big. Oh my God. Sarah, you know what? The other day, I've been cleaning up a bunch of things. So about two months ago, very beginning of April, our basement flooded and we had to like move a bunch of stuff. Anyway, we had to move a bunch of stuff out of the basement, and I'd been going through a bunch of like personal possessions. And one of the things that I've been going through is old tapes, like literally cassette tapes. And I have all of these tapes on from that I taped off the radio. It's wild. Darlene on YouTube, hello, welcome in. I need to figure out how we can organically discover Radiohead. Oh my God, seriously. One of the things that I did I started doing, I stopped because it's like an expensive habit. I started buying my like very favorite albums on vinyl so that I have like a physical media, because I have all these vinyl records that my folks owned. But they were like, we don't want these anymore. We're like getting rid of this shit. And I was like, I'll take them. Another thing that was in the basement that didn't get destroyed, but needed to be dried out and triaged, with all these vinyl records. But I was like, when I was a kid, I had these like records that I used to listen to that were in the living room that, like, you know, my parents had accumulated records and tapes specifically as well. I need to get some more flour. I need to refill my flour container, so I'm gonna get the big bag out of the cabinet here. Bear with me. But I was like, you know, how is this kid that I have ever going to like listen to music that, you know, the non-algorithmic music type of thing? So for a while I was buying things on vinyl, but I kind of stopped because it was just like a lot. Sarah says I personally stopped discovering new music in 2010. Which is valid. That's fair. I really try to listen to new music. I really do. Because when I was a kid and up through college for sure, like, music was really important to me. It still is. And I feel like what happened is I just got away from the methodology of discovering new music when streaming came around. And then I just never... This has a pour spout on it, but it doesn't fucking work. It just literally doesn't. Maybe, hold on. Am I supposed to, like, pull this out of the bag? No, that can't be right. I don't know. This is definitely a pour spout, and I'm definitely about to mess this up because I'm going to cut it out because I can't use it right. Avo, it is a 25-pound bag. I got it at Costco. I thought it was a 5-pound bag, but I should have known better because I was ordering it from Costco. And I really should have known. It was quite inexpensive. But then it arrived at the house and I was like, oh, that's big. That's too big. Not too big, but it is quite large. But yeah, the music discovery thing is wild to me. Yeah, Calvin like listens to music on Spotify and then he'll like listen to the quote unquote radio afterward, like all the recommended songs, and I don't know. I don't hate it because it's still discovering music, but I also realize that it's like extremely it's basically like capitalism. Like, and we're not gonna like jump down the rabbit hole of me bitching about that, but like I also then think about it as a like, oh, well, what do you think the radio was? Like, that was pay for play too. So it's all just the same sort of thing trickling down, right? Record companies paid to have their music played on radio stations. Now they pay to have it played on Spotify. So it's kind of the same, but like at least a human was talking about it on the radio, and now it's just like there. Yeah. This bag is 25 pounds. It's big. It's literally, if it was unfolded, it would definitely be like up to here. Still prefer vinyls, Lady Lyra. Yeah, I started buying things on vinyl, but that didn't mean that I was listening to it all the time. And this comment came from the Radiohead comment a few minutes ago about like that was one of the albums that I bought on vinyl was OK Computer, because I was like, this was like such a formative album for my sort of listening habits that I would like to own it. And this happened to me the other day. I have an artist that I really love whose music is not on Spotify anymore. Not like literally, I went to listen to them the other day because I saw on a playlist that I had, I was like, oh, this song is like not there anymore. That's weird. And I went to look for the artist and they only have 2 songs on Spotify now. They used to have like 4 albums. And I was like, what the fuck? Now I can't listen to this thing. Like I literally just can't listen to this thing because I didn't pay, like I pay for Spotify, but I don't pay, like I didn't buy it. And now it's gone. Like it's literally gone. And it was very upsetting to me. It was like genuinely, I was very upset about that as a happening. Okay, we're going to pour this flour back into this here because as I was talking, I talked long enough, my scale turned off and I don't know how much was in there and I need a specific weight. So we're gonna start again with the flour. Twindrella, the the phase of teenagers loving CDs is funny. It's very like I feel I read something on the internet yesterday that was about how like kids hate AI, how there's like such a pushback on AI in like across the youth, and I kind of love that. And basically, it was saying like combined with this new sort of focus, or this new like it's not new, the trend that, you know, kids love things from the past. So like when I was a kid, everybody wore like Led Zeppelin t-shirts. And now everybody wears Nirvana t-shirts, and it makes me feel old, just like it made my parents feel old. You know, when I was a kid, people had like Abbey Road t-shirts, and they were like, oh, look at the Beatles are great. You know, my favorite band, you know, and now kids are like, Nirvana's my favorite band. And I'm like, okay. And then you try to tell them about Mudhoney, and they're like, shut up, old. And you're like, fuck. Okay. Okay, I'll go back to my corner. Avo, if I had accidentally ordered a 50-pound bag of flour, I would have been really genuinely upset. Mark says, top 3 bands you wish you'd have seen live. Yours are Queen, the Beastie Boys, and Nirvana. Physical media, Twinderella, yeah. Twinderella says Rage, Green Day, and the entire Warped Tour. I think Warped Tour as an experience counts. Yeah, I would say that. And Tori Amos for sure. Is Tori Amos still touring? I would have really enjoyed seeing Alanis Morissette when she was like in that early angry phase. Now she's in the like older angry phase, which like same, but like, you know. I think Queen for sure. I think Queen is just like you have to acknowledge that. I would probably say some for me it's a lot of these like I grew up going to punk shows, like bands that never got famous, that have never ever will bands that never got famous, that played at like the VFW. And I think for me, there's I would have loved to have seen let's see, probably Operation Ivy. They were only a band for like a year and a half. But they were one of the first to be in that sort of like ska punk, like crossover sort of mix. Oh man. Bowie's a good one. Bob Marley's a good one. Queen is kind of a cheater answer. Yeah, but exactly. It's exactly, but like Queen is the type of thing where you're like, all right, they're like the exception to the big band rule, right? It like, of course you want to see Queen. I've watched Queen's live shows on YouTube, like a bunch, and they're so good. They're genuinely just like, oh my God. Hold on, flour, baking soda, and salt. How much salt? 3/4 of a teaspoon. Okay. Trying to think of a third one. I'm sure I'll come up with one. Kathy says Alanis was a pop singer first. This is true. Also Canadian. Fun fact. This is salt, right? Yes. 1, 2, 3. We got the butter. Let's get the sugars together while I'm measuring here. Nick, hello, welcome in. I'm on a hunt for a copy of Bowie's Black Star on 180-gram vinyl. Excellent. You know who used to have weird, like not weird, but like I don't know if Urban Outfitters still carries it, but Urban Outfitters had an interesting selection of vinyl for a long time. Creme Delish, welcome in. Hello.
Moondice says Prince, The Doors, and Alice in Chains. Okay. I would like to see Paul Simon. I've seen Simon and Garfunkel. This was back like 20 years ago. I would like to see Paul Simon. Um, Mark says I turned down going to a Beastie Boys concert to study for finals in college, and I still regret it. Yeah, I could see that. I could see regretting that. I could see regretting that, but then college is such a like, you know, it's such a thing where you're like, I have to do well. So important. I found all the stuff the stuff that I was going through from the garage. One of the things I found was an old report card of mine, where it was like I got like a D in something, and the the teacher was like, "Lou does not apply himself," and I was like, "Right," because I didn't give a shit about your class or school. Fun fact. Nick, Urban's vinyl selection is laughable. Yeah, I feel like for certain things, Urban's vinyl selection, generally speaking, yes, I'm with you on that. If you're looking for like a new copy of seminal albums from the 90s, just like 90s, they have a specifically okay selection. Like if you want those, like, Green Day's Dookie on vinyl, almost guaranteed you can find it there. Can you find it elsewhere? Sure. But like when I say good, I mean in this very like narrow lane of good. Twinderella, I'm sad I never got to see Sublime when Bradley Noel was still alive. Yeah. Yeah, they're another one. It's funny, when I listen to Sublime now, I'm like, oh God, these lyrics are so bad. This is so not good. I don't know. Kremlish says I saw Prince and I took my mom to see Michael Jackson. Third row floor she could not hear for weeks. Oh my God. Third row floor. That's amazing. Yeah, Michael Jackson, like prime era Michael Jackson would be kind of amazing. I found a paper for my civics class. Oh God. How did you do? Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks at the Cat's Cradle in Chapel Hill. Also saw Radiohead and Ben Folds 5. Oh yeah. Ben Folds 5. Oh my God. I've seen Ben Folds before. Joystick Nick says I saw Coheed and Cambria open for Primus, who opened for Tool on Halloween. That's kind of fun. They came out dressed as Led Zeppelin. That's amazing. That's a good lineup, though. Alabama Shakes. They don't tour anymore. That's sad. Kathy says I can't even remember what I've seen. I know. It's like if you say a band, like I've seen Coheed and Cambria. Did I remember that I saw Coheed and Cambria? Not really. But I know that I've seen them. It was probably at like the TLA in Philadelphia in like 2000 It's just notes. I don't think what they were teaching was accurate anymore. No. Oh God. No. Calvin comes home and he's talking about like what they're learning about government, and I'm like, ugh. That's the last time they were all together. That's amazing. If we're getting screwed over by Tool, I don't want to go to another concert ever again. Well, I remember you mentioned, I think you talked about hating Tool. Who was the band? Everclear. Everclear was the worst show I've ever seen in my whole life. Everclear, and what was the guy's name? It was Filter, the band Filter. Oh my God, so bad. I forget. Yeah, Everclear is the guy's voice was so bad, and Filter, the person, was just like completely on drugs and laid on the stage the whole time. Violent Femmes, Mark, that's amazing. Oh my God, the Violent Femmes are so fun. I remember like discovering the Violent Femmes, like when I was a kid and being like, oh my God, what is this that I'm listening to? Add the granulated and brown sugars. Okay, so brown sugars, we're adding 150 grams of brown sugar. My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult played at your cousin's wedding? Okay. That's That's not a humble brag. That's just like fun. That's a fun little story to have available for you. Nick says I miss old Warp Tour. I never went to Warp Tour, and I do. It's one of those things that I wish I had. And when I say Warp Tour, I mean as you do, like old Warp Tour, like when it was sort of still countercultural. What's the one that now there's one, the When We Were Young tour? Is that what it's called? Or maybe that's just a single show. I don't recall. I feel like that's trying to take the place of Warp Tour. But isn't Warp Tour still around? I don't know. I feel like it's still around, but it's like definitely not the same if it is. Every year. For 6 years, that's a pretty good run. When I was a kid, I went to the HF Festival, which was radio. WHFS was a radio station in like the DC, Baltimore, Maryland, DC and Baltimore area, and they had like a big thing every year. That was fun. I saw a lot of bands there. I saw Rage there. I saw Rage headline there, which was really cool. Oh my God. Thank you for all that. Thank you for all the shout outs, by the way. Thank you for dropping a bunch of shout outs in the chat. Favorite band going up is Cake. I listened to a Cake song this morning. It was Frank Sinatra. And you got canceled by all 4 concerts? That's so sad. That's genuinely sad. That really is actually sad. I'm glad they were refunded, but you know. Oh, I didn't know that about the singer. Oh, is Cake like canceled now? My first time I saw 3 Days Grace, they were awful. Definitely too far under the influence of something. Yes, exactly. That was my experience. That was my experience with Filter. I was like, you guys are terrible. A sore knees tour, right? We need seats. I need a stadium tour where we can all just sit down. It's definitely nothing like it was, Nick. I agree with you. Took you to Lilith Fair. Hell yeah. I saw Ani DeFranco when I was a kid. Speaking of Lilith Fair, I don't know if she played Lilith Fair, but that was an interesting going from like a punk show to like an Ani DeFranco show. It was like similar energy, but like very differently directed, which was fun. Bruce Hornsby in the Reigns. I do not. I love winning a ticket. Remember winning tickets to a show off the radio station? Winning tickets to like concerts by calling into a radio station. I did that a couple times. I like won tickets to things. The first time I saw the first show that I think I went to by myself ever was one that I won tickets to off of a radio station, and it was Jimmy Eat World. I would die to see Rage. Yeah, they were they headlined at HF Festival, so it wasn't like a Rage concert. It was like a festival show, but it was still they were good. Like I'm not gonna rub it in, but like they were very good. No, that's really cool. That it was just like, oh, that's like the hookup. That's a good little connection. Ray, welcome in. Hello. Zentangle on YouTube, welcome in. Hello. What am I making? I'm very slowly making chocolate chip cookies. Oh my God, Chapstick Queen, Garth Brooks. You know, funny aside, when I was in high school, there was a class that I was in, and we were talking about like what do you want to be when you grow up? It was like some teacher who was like really trying not to teach that day. It was a social studies class. Anyway, I jokingly was like, I want to be a country singer. And this teacher was like, well, if Lou gets up and sings a country song, we won't have any homework this week. And I knew one country song, and it was Garth Brooks' The River. And I got up in front of class and I sang it. And my buddy Drew, who is has been on the stream before, was in that class and remembers this story too. And we didn't have homework this week and that week, and I was a hero. And I still like that song. Oh my God, Kathy, I remember like waiting in line for tickets. I only did that once or twice. Jimmy Eat World. I listened to a Jimmy Eat World song this morning too. I miss calling in for tickets, right? Man, I used to call in for the radio station tickets all the time. It was definitely a thing that I did. Oh, Nick, that's an awesome show. I didn't I think I missed the arc for Tame Impala. I'm probably not even saying their name right, but I just heard a couple songs of theirs like literally on Tuesday of this week, and I was like, these are really good. Oh, Tom Petty. Like, and all of when we say like what concert would you have really liked to see, I think we all can assume that this is like classic era of this band, not like current era of this band, right? Trap. Oh my God. The internet didn't exist when I was sleeping in cars. Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, exactly, Kathy. Like, Ticketmaster used to be a thing, used to be a kiosk in the J.C. Penney. Nick, I believe you. You definitely had a more access to bands, I think, is how I would put that. Or like bands always came through Central Coast area of California. Like, I think for me, like the East Coast is pretty packed. So when I used to go between like Baltimore and DC to go to shows. And it's like if they were playing at one, they might not play at the other, but like they were close enough to where I was that it was like still okay. Yeah, Ticketmaster was a kiosk in a record store called Harmony House, right? I remember going to it was a store called Record and Tape Traders that used to do. That's where I used to get all my music, and I remember getting like tickets to like local punk shows there that were like literally handwritten tickets. Like they were like, we have 100 tickets to this show, and we wrote them by hand. They weren't even like printed on a printer. They were literally like handwritten with a Sharpie. So those were fun. Now they would just be like on Eventbrite or something. 9 Inch Nails just did that set at Coachella, which I have been listening to because they immediately put it out on Spotify, and it's so good. Ray says, did I see Bad Brains? No, I did not see Bad Brains. I would have loved to see Bad Brains, especially in DC, because they were from DC. When I was thinking of punk bands that I would have loved to see in their era, I would have loved to see a Bad Religion show around 1990. No, Bad Religion around 1989, when they were like right after Suffer came out. That would have been amazing. I'd love to go to an AC/DC show, Mark says. I think it'd be a complete rush. I do think it would be a complete rush. I bet AC/DC puts on a good show. The Masonic Temple, hell yeah. Of course it was. Of course it was cheap for hardcore bands. Yeah, and it's not like all the stone in there made anything sound worse, right? Like, oh my God. Remember when I was in college, I used to go see shows in at Temple in like this place they called the Owl Cove, which was funny. Hold on, let me add the granulated sugar and brown sugar. So we're putting the butter, we're adding the sugar, we're scraping the bowl, we're adding the eggs and vanilla. So I'm gonna put the vanilla in here. I'm getting all of my ingredients together so that I can just like make these without thinking about it. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So 3 of these Johns. Got it. 1. Is this vanilla? Fuck, this had better be vanilla. Okay, good. Sorry. I opened it, it smelled like vanilla, and then I was like, this could be lemon. It'd be really bad if this was lemon. We'd have to start over, but at least this is just eggs. It's not. Okay. Trinidad, you saw Bad Religion in 98? So you saw the show that I would want to see. Yeah, that was just like good era. That vanilla does not go in the refrigerator. Um, fellas. So you got like you went through all those hoops to get tickets, and then they left, and then they left. They played two songs and left. That's such entitled. That's like such entitled bullshit from a band. I would not. I would be like, I'm just never. I would tell everyone I knew that story all the time to like stop them from liking that band. I'm 100% with you. Um, early Bad Religion, right, right. Yeah, and that's what I mean. And I think for all of these, when we say like which one would you like to see, I think it's pretty clear that like we're talking about like when this band was at their prime popularity or prime, maybe not even popularity, right? Like I would have liked to see Green Day right around the time that they put out Kerplunk, like right around then. I don't really want to see Green Day in their like post Insomniac era, you know. Um, I'm sure it was good too, but I would like to have seen them when they were like younger and not popular, not as popular. Whoa, Mark, the 40 Licks tour in 2002. It would be the last chance to see them. Right. They outlasted the stadium. Are they still playing, right? I bet they're still playing. $100 a song. Oh my God. That's not worth it. Not worth it at all. Styx. Styx Renegade is like one of the best songs ever written. Ty says I was in diapers in '98 watching Blues Clues. Valid. Listen, I there's no you can still enjoy music. The good thing about music is people keep making it. So like, and the way that it gets discovered is changing, and I love that fact. I love the fact that one of my kids' favorite artists started out making like sounds for TikTok, and now he's huge, huge, huge. Saw them on the American Idiot tour. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see them now. I'm saying I would love to have been there, you know, and like seen them when it was like they were unknown to the general populace. Spin Doctors reminds me of church dances. I remember my gym teacher's favorite song for like an entire school year was the band Tonic, If You Could Only See, because we had to like run in circles around the gym in middle school. Like every time we had gym, he would play that song and we'd have to run in circles in the gym. And it was that fucking song every single time. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, can't you figure something out? They're still playing. Of course they are. I would see the Rolling Stones right now. Who wouldn't? The Rolling Stones is like Queen, except they're still around. But I've been listening to them since the beginning. And I can't claim the same. I discovered Green Day when they played at like MTV's Video Music Awards in 1994. Discovered, you know. And I was like, oh, this sounds great. Of course they were supposed to play more songs. They're probably supposed to play like 15 or 20 songs. I don't know. How long are Tool songs? Pretty long, right? They keep topping Keith Richards off with fresh formaldehyde. I know. Like, what's going to happen when one or more of them finally passes is there's going to be a whole, like a 30 to 40% of people who are aware of the band, but aren't like, you know, don't follow along, that are like, wow, like I thought he died 20 years ago. Shit. I was supposed to beat the butter without the sugar in it. Okay, that's fine. Um, we're just gonna beat it with the sugar in it. I was supposed to beat the butter separately. That's fine. Linkin Park in 2000. I bet they put on a good show. Linkin Park was one of those bands that like broke through with a sound, like broke through to the mainstream with a sound that was like relatively unique. You know, I think they got a lot of radio play, and I think a lot of people were like didn't like them because they got really popular really quickly. At least it seemed like it. But they definitely had a, I don't know, yeah, they had a different sound. Okay, so we're gonna mix this for 2 to 3 minutes on medium. Okay. Crash Test Dummies. I remember I had a Crash Test Dummies tape. We had no idea who the Pretenders were. I found there's a couple bands that have become I remember them opening, but I don't remember who they opened for that I have in my life like that. Oh, okay. I was like, that's a nice little discovery there. It's always nice when the opener's like actually really good. Missed out on Elton John and Aerosmith. Man, I definitely did not see either one of those. Aerosmith. Have I seen them? No, they didn't play at any festivals. Did he stop touring? Did Elton John stop touring? Wow, Ray Race, you saw them a long time ago. Well, long time ago. As if 2001 was a long time ago. Yeah, it was 25 years ago. It actually was a long time ago. Sad. Not that sad. Yeah, it feels like it was 3 or 4 years ago. There's that whole decade. The decade from 2010 to 2020 feels soft for me. It's like, what was that? What was even happening in those years? Do I really know? I don't. What was happening for me in those years? I was being in my late 20s and early 30s. That's what I was doing. So who knows? Who knows what was happening? The old. Yeah, I graduated high school in 2002. Yeah, $200. That decade is a blur, as it would be. Yeah, 2015 was certainly like I remember 2015. That was a like oh shit year. That was when Calvin was born. Interesting. So Elton does smaller gigs now. Man, I bet those are pricey. Those have got to be like super expensive to get a ticket to. Seeing Elton John in a small venue, that would be incredible. That would genuinely be amazing. I saw Simon and Garfunkel when I was in college with my friend Drew, my mom, and my 7th grade English teacher. It was an interesting experience. My mom worked at the middle school that I went to and was friends with my 7th grade English teacher. But it sounds funnier when you put it that way. All right, we're gonna mix this for about another 2 minutes because yeah, we're gonna mix this for another 2 minutes because I was supposed to mix the butter to start aerating it before mixing in the sugars, but I didn't, and I think it'll be okay. But I can't go back now because I had softened that butter, and it's like that is what it is. So we're going with what we have. I messed it up. It's because I wasn't focused. Remember earlier, 55 minutes into this stream, so literally an hour ago, I had all of my dry ingredients out. I am now mixing I now have the dry ingredients in bowls, and I'm mixing things together. So we've actually started on the cookie process. Lager says it was 26 in 2001. I was 2001. I turned 17. Yeah, I turned 17. Anguruk, hello. Anguruk, did I say hi to you? I don't think I did. I saw your name in chat earlier, and I don't think I actually said hello. Anyway, still have a Crash Test Dummies cassette tape. That's a good one. I hope you got that reference. I probably didn't come through because the mixer's on. Anyway, I was humming. Music talk is a great distraction. I kind of love it. I have really struggled discovering new music recently. Recently meaning like the past decade, like literally decade. You would have needed to be about 9 octaves lower. I don't think I can go that low. My voice doesn't do that. Nope. Yeah, his voice is... I remember hearing that song. That song, by the way, is called God Shuffled His Feet. If you're unfamiliar with the song that I was just humming, it's humming as part of the song. It's Crash Test Dummies, God Shuffled His Feet. There are very few people can go that low. Yeah, it's not a normal thing. I remember hearing that song for the first time and being like, what the hell? Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. The album is God Shuffled His Feet. Yes. My bad. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. It was only fucking 30 years ago. Whatever. Reflection. Hello. Welcome in. Reflection on Twitch asks, how did you come up with the name Eat It Dads? Well, there was a couple things. I knew this was going to be a cooking stream. I am a dad. I had a bunch of different names. I stumbled across the thing where I was like brainstorming names for the channel, and there was a bunch of them. But Eat It Dads was short. It had several different like pieces of what the stream was going to be about, which was eating and my literal being a dad. The fact that it was at my house, so like eat at dad's. And also, frankly, I thought it sounded kind of like a diner. And I thought that was just like a neat sort of the way it rolled off the tongue was it was like easy to say, like 3 syllables. 3 syllables is like pretty straightforward. So I went with it. Also, it was available on all the social media platforms and the URL. So I was like, you know what? This is good. We'll go with that. I also sent it to several other people that I knew and was like, what do you think of these names? It was like 5 or 6 names for like my stream, and collectively all of them picked the same one. So I was like, cool, that's the one. Ray, what about folk or country? I listen to country music. I listen to folk music, more folk than country music. Auntie, welcome in. Auntie BC, welcome. Hello. Happy Thursday, or Friday Junior, as it were. I do listen to some folk music. I listened when I was younger, and also more recently. I listened to a lot of Phil Ochs, OCHS. Very like of the moment as well. I've heard people compare Phil Ochs to Bob Dylan if Bob Dylan wasn't like mainstream. I was recently listening to a bunch of folk music, but I can't, the artists are not there. It was a thorough process. Reflection. You'll be surprised perhaps to learn over time that I'm a relatively thorough person. A lot of spreadsheets, a lot of notes. We love the metric system here. We love lists. I'm a big list maker. Very type A in that regard. Add the granulated and brown sugars, beat on medium speed until light and fluffy. Okay, I would say this is light and fluffy. Scrape down the sides of the bowl. Add the eggs and vanilla and mix until smooth. Okay, so we're adding the eggs and vanilla, which we have already mixed together. Eggs and vanilla. We're gonna mix this until smooth. I love spreadsheets too. Yeah, I recently so I just signed up to be on the board of the PTA at my kid's school. I didn't sign up so much as I was like recruited to do it because I've been involved this year. And they were like, hey, you should be more involved. And I was like, okay. Anyway, they were describing several positions that they have open that they're like looking to fill. And one of them was like recruiting volunteers and like talking to new volunteers. And the other one was like taking notes at a meeting, sending out the invites for the meeting, like managing the meeting calendar and managing this like big spreadsheet for the thing. And I was like, that one's for me. Thank you. Oh, the one that runs on a schedule, the one that actually runs the schedule of the thing. Absolutely. Like sign me up for that. I'm a big, as soon as she was like, you know, oh, there's a big spreadsheet involved. And I was like, done. I'm sold. Like you can stop talking now. You have sold me on this thing. Which was fun. But yeah, spreadsheets are great. I was very thorough. I when I first started streaming, it took me about 3 months to like do a bunch of testing and set things up and get it all like the way I wanted it. It's just how I am. Scrape down the sides, add the flour, add the eggs and vanilla and mix until smooth. Add the flour mixture and beat on low speed until just combined. Add the chocolate, mix into the batter on low speed. Okay. Is this a new stream? No, this is a so I've been streaming now for 4 years. What was I was just describing the PTA meeting cadence. But no, I've been streaming for a while, for 4 years, just a few days over 4 years, in fact. May 12th, 2022 was when I got started. But I was saying it took me a while to like get up to speed. I don't like to do things, you know, there's some folks that'll be like, just go, like just start, like just do the thing. It's hard, you know, just start and like you'll figure it out. I'm not a figure it out person. I'm a think about it for a long time person and figure out what I like to try to do is consider all the different things and set things up and like get things sort of. I like to put my bump, if we're making a bowling analogy, which we're not. I like to have the bumpers on the thing where I'm like, okay, in order to be live, I need to know how to use OBS. Like I just need to know how to use it. So I am going to spend like a month figuring everything out and setting it all up and like, how do I get this title up here? You know, how do I make sounds appear on stream? So yeah, a lot of Googling at the beginning. I like to have everything kind of in place. Mark, thank you for the gift sub to Auntie BC. We love new friends on the stream. Happy to have folks. Friends who are new to the stream, if you are either new or you're hanging out and lurking, it's nice to have you. My name's Lou. This is in fact a cooking stream. This is what we do on stream. This is not a gaming stream where we're somehow cooking today, which is a lot of times when you encounter someone cooking, that's the nature of the thing. But this is like literally what we do on the stream. We cook. We do a lot of vegetable forward family meals. A recipe developer, so I often haven't actually recently done much of this, but I do some recipe development on stream. So if you like detail-oriented conversations around food, those are available here. But this is a genuinely very conversational stream. I set this up. I started streaming because I was cooking dinner all the time anyway, and my partner did not want to sit at the kitchen counter and chat with me after like a long day at work. So she suggested that I start streaming, and I was like, "What do you mean?" I thought that was for gamers. Anyway, here we are 4 years later. So if you're hanging out and lurking, we appreciate you. Lurks are always a good thing. And follows here are silent as well. They're anonymous. So if you're lurking, hanging out, maybe you're just enjoying the vibe, liking the conversation, and you're like, maybe you're like me and you just don't love being perceived in chat. You know, you just want to lurk, which is like how I consume Twitch. Just know that if you hit the follow button, nothing happens. There's no alerts or sounds. Literally nothing happens. I'm not going to say hi to you. We're not going to it's not going to be a thing. Anyway, we also get out in the world and do IRL stuff on occasion. I was going to do that today, but then it was raining and I decided I didn't want to. So I didn't, and we're making cookies about it. That's how it goes. 9, welcome in. Happy Friday, Junior. Add the flour mixture, add the chocolate, and mix into the batter on low speed. Okay, so we're going to add the chocolate. Add all the chocolate. Mix into the batter. Oh, I haven't had my overhead camera on today. That's sad. Let's turn it on just for the chocolate mixing. On low speed. Okay. Excellent. Well, that's incorporated. Form the dough into 45-gram balls, 2 tablespoons each, and place 8 cookies on each sheet pan. So these will spread a little bit, which is great. My oven has been preheated. I started my oven before stream, so it is definitely hot now. Trinidad, you've had a hot and sour soup replacement. That's some big new relationship energy you got going on there. It's a good one. I feel like that. Do you feel like that's is going to be an adequate replacement over time, or do you feel like there's some excitement, just generally speaking, around it? Do you feel like it'll last? Auntie, these are soft chocolate chip cookies. So these are from the book 100 Cookies by Sarah Kieffer. It is a book I've used a bunch of times on stream. I've made several cookie club cookies from here. These are the first recipe in the book. They are one of the 3 versions of like classic chocolate chips that she offers to start the book. It's a good one. It's a this particular cookbook is, I've been very happy cooking out of it because it's I haven't had a recipe that's like done poorly yet. They've all just like been pretty solid. Faded Epitaph, welcome in. Hello. We were talking about music earlier, and your name reminds me of Epitaph Records. I don't suspect that is the nature of your username, but it is a callback to the conversation that we were having so far today regarding music, which I love. I don't play any music. I don't actually play any instruments. I do play music out of the speakers. But the music that we play on stream is very boring because it's all just royalty-free lo-fi noise. I am not going to make a second batch of these cookies, by the way. We're just making one batch. So I'm putting these dry ingredients away because I had left them out with the thought that I might make another batch of these, and I am not going to get there today because these take a little while to bake. Not that long to bake, but you have to bake them one tray at a time. So they're going to take about 20 plus minutes or so to bake total. And then they have to cool down a little bit. So I want to be able to like, I also want to be able to finish stream a little earlier today, earlier than usual. We have some things going on this evening, household things going on this evening. Auntie, your mom got the book. Excellent. Yeah, it's been a good one. So this is the book that I'm doing these cookies from today. We've done a bunch of cookies from here, but this one is the first recipe in the book, literally, and I haven't made it. So today we're just doing the literal like classic chocolate chip cookie. And a big reason why we're going with like a simple chocolate chip cookie is twofold. One, I know that I have all the ingredients. I wanted to make something out of the 108 Asian Cookies book, but I generally need to buy an ingredient for that. And two, I was like, we're just going to stay inside today because it's raining. I was going to go out and do IRL stuff, but we're not, because I don't mind doing IRL stuff out in the rain, but like it's a different beast than doing IRL stuff when the weather's nice. And I was just like, I'm not really prepared to like be out in the rain all afternoon. So we're not. Nagin, welcome in. Hello, friend of the stream, person I've met in real life. Chef Nagin, fellow food and drink streamer, fellow IRL streamer. I hope things are going well for you. I was lurking on Jeff's stream the other day, and I saw you busting things out. Hopefully the season is going well for you so far. I did survive the Wildwoods. We survived, and we're going to be back there again. I don't think I'm going to stream while we're out camping this time because the last time I was at this campground, there wasn't any cell phone reception. So there was no cell phone reception, and the Wi-Fi, they have Wi-Fi in there somehow. But the Wi-Fi is so bad, and you have to pay for it, and it's very bad. So I just don't use the internet while I'm there. I did all of my homework with you in the background. That's amazing. I'm happy to hear it. It was fun. That was the second time we've gone camping on stream. I feel like it's interesting too, because the first time we went camping was this time last year. Was literally like I think this year we went on the 14th of May, and last year I think it was May 15th was that stream, because I remember like I looked back at it to like for reference, and then in my time hop, my like, what did you do a year ago photos was like from stream, and I was like, I'm very predictable, aren't I? How about that? I'll leave these gloves out. We're gonna use those again. Okay, so we have our full-size sheet pans here. These are a little bit bigger than the half-size sheets, so I think I can probably fit about 10 cookies per tray. It says to do 8 per tray. It says 3 trays makes about 20 cookies. That's what it says. This bowl is 771 grams. So let's do a little math here. Ready for it? We have 1,906 grams total. 1906 minus 771 equals 1,135 divided by 45 equals 25. So this should, if I do 45 gram cookies, should make 25 cookies. Okay, that's cool. We'll do 25. Oh no, we have more cookies than I was expecting. Oh no. These are good problems. We're good. We're okay with these problems. Real chef indeed. Real chef indeed. Yeah, I do. I'm a home cook. I like to cook, but there's no degree or any of that. No training. Um, Cookie balls. Let's go with 1, 2. So I'm doing these by weight as it suggests, because weight is the best way to keep these. And these are a good consistency to just roll by hand. I already have my trays ready, so we're gonna see how many of these I think I can fit on a tray. Negin says, "I'm always a cook before I'm a chef." I mean, that's where you start mostly. I love rolling balls. No, this is the right stream for that. Listen. We love an innuendo here too. We also love a direct analogy. Yes, innuendos are great. We love that. And that's it's just how it goes around here.
I'm a little worried about being a slut.
Sometimes. 46. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to keep it right at 45, but I'm not being exactly on some of these. We're a gram or two off, and that's okay. In cookies, that's okay. In other life dealings, being a gram or two off you don't want to do that. That's not good. But here, I think it's fine. So we got 6. I don't know how big these get. Tidy Whities, hello. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Sorry, I just buffered for a second. I was going to say Tuesday, but that's not correct. That's 55. Nope. 36. 40. 45. Hut. Sports. Okay. We're going to pop this tray into the oven as I roll the next one. Hoping that I can get all of this dough onto 2 trays. I feel like that might be possible. 25 cookies is a lot though. So I think we're going to need a 3rd tray. But the 3rd tray is going to have less cookies on it. So that'll be fine. Darlene says it's Thursday. Thank you. It is indeed Thursday. I know that from a perspective of like, what am I doing today? From the perspective of like saying it out loud, who knows what day of the week it is. I know that when I look at my to-do list, I'm doing the things on the Thursday day. 3, 6, 9. So I'm going to get 12 on this tray. It said that you can fit about 8 on a tray. But again, half-size sheet pans. So if we do 12, that means that we'll have 2 trays of 12 and 1 tray of 1, which seems odd. But I don't want to overload these either, so we're going to stick with 12. What does it say about these too? Bake 1 pan at a time, rotating halfway through baking. So these are some interesting, these directions are a little bit unclear to me. So I'm going to read these out loud slowly and just kind of get the lay. Bake 1 pan at a time, rotating halfway through baking. Period. Bake for 8 minutes until the cookies are slightly puffed in the center. Give the pan a slight tap in the oven. Bake the cookies until the edges are just turning golden brown, but the center is still soft. 2 to 3 minutes more. 10 to 11 minutes total. So we rotate these they said halfway through. Halfway through which part of that? The 8 minutes? Or the total time? I'm assuming the total time. So I'm assuming that the total time is the right thing here. So let's give a little pause. We're going to take these gloves off. I'm going to pull the fingers. Here, pull my finger. I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be weird? That'd be a terrible redeem to have. I'm assuming that when it says rotating halfway through, they mean the total time. So I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to set a timer for 11 minutes because my oven is usually a little slow, meaning lower temperature than what you're expecting it to be. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And then we're going to set another timer for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And then let's see, 8. No, we do 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Then we do 2 to 3 minutes more. So let's do a 3-minute timer. That's 53 minutes. We can't have that. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then another 3 minutes after that. Okay, cool. Obviously, you can calibrate your oven in 30 plus or minus 30 degrees. Usually, I overclocked mine all the way up for pizza. That's kind of fun. I was, what was I reading? Someone reading something the other day. Someone was like, "Don't use the clean setting on your oven for pizza," and I was like, obviously, like what? Epitaph, the consistency. Yeah, I love the consistency. That's why I use the scale. The scale in this household is everything. Okay, we're gonna pop these in the oven. I'm going to set my timer for, hold on, I'm gonna put these in. I'm gonna I'm gonna turn the light on. We're gonna turn this camera on so we can see in the oven. We're gonna rotate the camera that way and then that way. And then we're going to change the orientation of it. No, we did just change the orientation of it. We're gonna change the thing. Hold on. There we go. Cookie balls. All right. We got cookie balls in the oven. There they are. That's the best view we're going to get. There we go. Cyber, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for timer. Sorry. I had a thought. I had like thoughts going. Thoughts were like there was multiple thoughts happening. Okay. So cookies are in the oven. Oven is at the right temperature. Good. It is at the right temperature. Confirmed. Is the meal broken? Meal should not be broken. I heard it. Sounded good. Sounded good to me. We're making chocolate chip cookies today. So thank you for your resub too, as well. I appreciate that. 27 months. That is just a straight up subscription too. That means that at some point you just click the subscribe button, which is awesome. Those are the good ones. You know, movie was it Robin Williams was like, I think it was Dead Poet Society, and he was like, "That's the good stuff." That's what clicking the subscribe button is. I'm not saying that other types of subscriptions are not good. I'm saying that one's the best. We do, Epitaph, we love to see other cooking streamers. It's a very supportive, I think, community. I will say, from like when I first started on Twitch, this was 4 years ago. So I was like a post-pandemic sort of person starting out. There was a few people who I came across sort of first in that journey. And a lot of them are still around. Chef Nagin was one of the folks who I kind of became aware of very early, before I actually started streaming. Rusty Rhymes was another one who was very like, I saw him doing stuff on Twitch and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like this is just like, this is the vibe, right? Like this is the type of vibe. We're not trying to do like, YouTube how to cook videos here. Although occasionally that is, occasionally we do that, but it's not the basis of what I'm trying to do on stream. On stream, I'm just trying to talk to people. That's the and I happen to be cooking. I think the energy that I was looking for, that I think a lot of folks have on this platform, and the type of folks that I gravitate toward, are the ones who, where it feels like you're just hanging out, and there's always kind of a conversation happening, and it's a bit fluid. It's not super forced, and I do appreciate that. I also am not a gamer, so I always feel like gaming stream energy is always very different than like cooking, and it is fascinating because the audiences are also can be slightly different. Charlie on YouTube says, when I was younger, my dad told me to pull his finger and he passed gas. It's too much information. It is. It's like just do the thing quietly. You gotta just. That's a classic dad thing, though. That's for sure. As a literal dad, I'm reading that and I'm like, yeah, I would do that. I would definitely do that. I think I have done that. I don't think I've done that exact thing, but I've definitely made a performance of the whole thing. Speaking of performances, my son's last concert of the year is tonight. He's playing violin and trumpet in his school performance, and then that is it for orchestra for the year. And it's kind of amazing. I'm very thankful that we got to the end of the year having finished the year still playing both of those instruments. I suspect that next year he's going to want to drop one of those, but we'll see. Epitaph, what kind of cooking do you enjoy? Are you I always find there's different folks. Some folks like, and this is not providing, there's no value statement here. But there's folks that really love, like, oh, I'm gonna, I see a new recipe and I'm making it. That's like one type of particular cooking joy. And then there's I like a challenge. I'm going to try this new type of dish. Like, it's not a specific recipe, but I really, I love curry, so I want to make like a very classic, low and slow kind of like curry or something. Or are you, and this is where I fall into my particular category of cooking happiness, is the like opening the fridge and trying to figure out what to do with all the stuff in it. I like going to the farmer's market or the market. I like going to the store, period. I love shopping, food and other. But I like going and then, sorry, my timer just went off. So now I'm like, okay, shit. I need to do something in the oven here. But I love buying a bunch of stuff, like seasonal stuff, and then figuring out what to do with it, as opposed to like finding a recipe. Often I'll find a recipe, but I'll already have some of the ingredients for it. I'll be like, what do I do with all this Swiss chard or whatever? Italian and Spanish. Spanish is so good though. Spanish has a good seafood component to it. I like seafood a lot. Like Portuguese is a favorite type of cuisine. Italian's great though. One of my favorite things to cook in general is not a specific pasta recipe, but I love when I have like a pasta that's bake for 8 minutes. Okay, so when the next timer goes off, we're going to tap the pan in the oven, and then we're going to, it says, hold on, give the pan a slight tap. So slight tap. Bake the cookies until the edges are just turning golden brown, but the center is still soft. 2 or 3 minutes more. Okay, so 10 to 11 minutes total. Okay, so I've got a couple minutes here. And then I'm just kind of evaluating the sizing of these. These look pretty good. I don't know if they're going to spread. I don't know how much more they're going to spread based on where they are, but We'll see. I am going to put this one in separately, though. I'll have a fully separate chocolate chip cookie going in. And we'll put that one on, a small pan here and bake it. Yes. So what I was saying, what was I saying? I was saying about pasta. So not a specific like pasta dish, but one of my favorite little like kitchen, I hesitate to use the word game, but I quite literally think about it. I think of it as a game, is when I'm doing like a quick dinner, right? Like just I'm gonna make dinner. Dinner needs to be done in like 15, 20 minutes. This sort of hits all of those things, all those like discovery notes, where I will put a pot of water on the stove to boil, like a big pot for the pasta itself. And in the time that it takes to come to a boil, I will root through the fridge and prep as many ingredients as many things as I can to go into that pasta. So if I have leftover chicken, I'll like shred that up. I'll get out some butter. I will cut up an onion. I will smash some garlic. If there are vegetables in there, I will like get those out and cut those up. Whatever. I will go in like it's like those cooking shows where you're like, you have 10 minutes to do this thing. But basically, like when the water stops boiling, I'm done prepping ingredients. Then I put the pasta in, and then I will start prepping like a sauce or something like that. And then usually I'll drain the pasta, and then I'll do like, if I had onion and garlic, I'll saute those in the pan, and then I'll like build a quick pan sauce in the bowl that I boiled the pasta in, and then I'll put the pasta back in. So that to me is a fun activity, because it's like, I want to use up a bunch of stuff in the fridge. Like, oh, I got extra cheese. I have like this little block of cheese in here. Let me like grate some of that real quick. I love that kind of thing. That's the fun. That's like a fun thing. So whenever I say like, oh, my favorite meal is like pasta, that's kind of what I mean. So tap the pan. So I've tapped the pan. These aren't quite pan banging cookies, but they are kind of there. They're sort of pan banging cookies, I suppose. Okay, so this is the next tray that's going in, and then I have one standalone cookie that I will put in. I'm going to put this in at the same time. I'm going to put this on the bottom shelf, and this will probably cook a little bit slower, which is fine. But we're on to our last 3 minutes of this first tray. When these come out, I need to put them on a wire rack. That's what we need to do. So I'm going to get that out. This also says, when pulled from the oven, the cookies will look puffed and light in color, but they will slowly deflate as they cool on the pan. Store the cookies in an airtight container at room temperature. So these I'm expecting to change appearance and structure as they cool. Let the cookies cool completely before removing from the pan. So these are supposed to be soft chocolate chip cookies. I personally am a thin and crispy chocolate chip cookie person. If you were like, which cookie do you have a craving for the most frequently of these three, I would say crisp, like thin and crispy, like a Tate's cookies style chocolate chip cookie. That is not to say that those are the best, but just that's my personal taste. But I polled the audience of one this afternoon or this morning when I was like, which of these couple cookie options do you want? She said soft chocolate chip cookies, so that's what we're making. Yeah, and we have them in the oven. So 12 on a tray. They smell great. This house smells really lovely right now. Mer, welcome in. Happy Friday, Junior. Good to have you. Fellow food and drink streamer, Mer Bakes. How do I do this? There we go. Got it. We did it. We are baking today. These cookies are not for Cookie Club. This is these are just cookies for the house. So every once in a while, every once in a very long while, I need to make cookies that are not in a big bulk batch. So this is the first time in a few months, at least months, that I've made cookies that are just one batch for no real reason. Like the reason is I wanted to make cookies today. But the like single batch cookie, actually it makes them sound even like more special somehow. We're making single batch chocolate chip cookies today. No, what that means is I usually make like a quadruple batch of things. Because usually I'm trying to make like 100+ cookies at once to send to a bunch of people. That is not the case today. I have a watermelon on the counter. I should probably cut that up because it's going to go. I don't know how long how long do watermelons last for? Who knows? I mean, someone knows. The watermelon board of the US knows. Bake the cookies until the edges are just turning golden brown, but the center is still soft. 2 to 3 minutes more. Okay, so this is the point where I look at the cookies and I'm like, well, they could go for a little longer, but then they actually don't need to go for any longer. So are the edges of these starting to get golden brown? I can't tell. I literally cannot tell. Maybe one more minute. I'm gonna give these one more minute. Just 1 minute. And then we're going to take them out. And when we take them out, we're going to put these other cookies right back in. And we're going to remember to start the timer for those. So these look very yellow on the screen right now. But that's because the oven is that's the color of the light in the oven. Okay, but these were not quite, the edges of these were like, it says, until the edges are just turning golden brown. Golden brown is not the color I would describe the edge of these cookies as. So when I opened it just a moment ago, so we're letting them go for just like literally 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, stop. Reminder to reset my timer. And let's come back over here and we'll take a look and see. Yeah, these are, yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll go with that. These look good. The chocolate looks melted. Let's pop a tray into the oven. We're going to put that one on top, and then we're going to put our single cookie down on the bottom and just slide that all the way back. Okay, so these are in. Let's adjust the camera and start the timer. And these are ready. So I'm going to put these. So it says to put the thing on a wire rack. I'm actually going to put the tray itself on the counter because the counter is stone and is much cooler. And these will cool down faster if I put the tray on the counter first. So we're going to put the tray on the counter for just a few minutes. We're going to let these go. While these are cooling, I'm going to go ahead and cut this watermelon because I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, you need to get up like in the next day or two. And I don't want to do that while I'm out, while we're out camping. So we're going to cut that up now. And pop it in the fridge. before, so yeah, we're gonna do that in the next like 12 minutes while these are baking here. Do I have room in this refrigerator? Yeah, I do. I can sit it on. So I can sit it on top. Okay, wonderful. Let me wash my hands real quick before I start handling produce. The oven light is like the sun. It's true. The cookies are tanning. Yeah. It's like the sun in July. It is yeah, it's very yellow. I don't know if that's I have no idea. I've never changed the light bulb in here, like ever. Have any of y'all ever had to change the light bulb in your oven? I honestly, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the light bulb or the housing around it that's yellow. I think it's the light bulb because when I cleaned the oven last, which was not anytime recently, it was I cleaned the housing around it too, and it's still yellow. So I've definitely never replaced the bulb, but I kind of would like to. I'd like to do a bulb with a better color temperature to it. I just had a thought. Watch this. Wow, it looks so much more bland that way. Also, you can see a reflection of my compost bucket. I don't. That's not a good look. Let's just turn it. Let's turn it back to where it was. I don't know where it was actually. I think it was there. See, now that just looks. Now it doesn't look as good. Okay, Lou, stop fucking with it. You're supposed to be cutting up a watermelon. Yes, you are. Cyber, you. Your light is out. You can't figure out how to change it. Right. Buy a new oven. I think that's the answer to that is just you're going to need to purchase it. You need to purchase a new oven. That's how it goes. Mrs. H, you're in your third heating element. Oh no. That's terrible. That's terrible luck or bad luck. That's not good. That is not a good scenario. I've never actually, knock on wood, I've never had to replace the heating element in the oven, fortunately. No, you do not actually have to get a new oven to get a new heating element or a new light. But if you don't know how to replace it and you are and you have a lot of money, you can just buy a new oven. Had to change the freezer light, but never the fridge. Yeah, it's definitely a specialty bulb. Like there's no way that that's not a very specifically oven designed bulb. Like it has to be, because how the hell else would it be in the oven at 500 plus degrees? I've never looked into it though. Certainly they should be replaceable. It's never come up though. And I think about it regularly because I don't like the color that it is, and it's one of those things where I'm like, every time I think about the color of it, I'm like, oh, I'll just get a different color temperature bulb when I have to replace the bulb in the oven. And then, you know, here we are sometime later. Okay, timer's going off. Let's rotate these cookies in the oven. Come on over to the oven with me. Here we are. So these are looking all right. I'm not going to rotate the one on the bottom because it's in the center. These look good. Close that up. We'll keep watermeloning. I remembered to start my timer. I did. The fridge gets open more than the oven and the freezer. Yeah, yet the bulb has lasted the longest. Again, it has to be a specialty bulb. I know that the bulb over the stove, the one that I have, like that, yeah, that goes over the stove top, that one has burned out so many times for me that when it burns out, I don't bother replacing it for a while, because like I don't even right now the bulb in there, one of the two, there's two lights under my stove and one of them works, and I don't even bother turning it on when I use the stove, because it, like, I'm just so used to it not working. But again, I think that might be one of the things where it's like a specialty bulb, because I just buy the ones at like the grocery store, like the miniature bulbs, and I'm pretty sure they just burn out from being over top of the stove. Like they're just too hot somehow. I'd be too hot too if you held me over top of an open flame for hours on end. That wouldn't be great. I'd make a terrible light bulb. Okay, we're cutting this watermelon up. We've got almost halfway done. And I'm just cutting this into chunks as I'm not really sure what I'm doing with any of this. I'm just kind of cutting it up, and then we're going to figure it out later. I might just freeze some of it. We'll see. I don't know. 9, you have a home warranty that covers appliances. Maybe. They probably don't, but it would be worth calling. I don't think Mrs. H says, I don't think I've ever seen an oven bulb that isn't yellowy. Yeah, same. When you think about them, it's like that's true. Like they always look yellow. I know some, like I've seen like commercial ovens that are different, like a brighter sort of daylight almost kind of color. But I'm pretty sure those use different bulbs. I'm gonna take this tray and give it a little tap here in about 15 seconds. Before I dump this watermelon out, we're going to do that. Okay, so give it a pause here. It is definitely also the glass door. Like it's a combination of both. It's certainly a combination of both. Here, we can look in the oven right now. So it is definitely the door being a little dirty. And it's also like the actual temperature, the actual color in the oven is a bit yellow. Okay, we've done the thing. We've done the thing. We tapped the pan, or more specifically, we banged the pan. Although these are not the pan banging variety cookies, it does say to tap. I think there's a difference. Seems like there's a difference. Not tapping the single. Oh yeah, the singles deserve love too. I forgot about that one. There we go. We gave it a little tap. It's hard out there if you're single. It's also very liberating, I suppose. Anyway. Yes. Finish this watermelon, and then by the time this is finished, by the time I finish this, I should be able to get those out of the oven. And the ones that are on the counter here are definitely cooling off. They'll be cooled off enough that I can give one of those a try here. It says to wait until they cool off, but like, has anyone ever waited until the cookies were like completely cool to try them? I don't think that's a thing. I don't understand the type of patience one would have to be able to do that. unless it's like explicit that like you should not eat this for this reason, like it's not going to be set or something, like how could you not? I don't understand. I genuinely don't. Michael, enjoy the rest of your day. I hope it's a good one. Happy Thursday, happy Friday. Hope you have a good weekend coming up. I will not be live again before the weekend, so always nice to be able to say I hope you have a good weekend. Yeah. We're going to be camping. Is anyone else doing anything fun for the long weekend? Here in the US, Monday is Memorial Day. It marks the non-calendar start of the summer. So the summer, according to the calendar, starts June 20th, 21st, something like that. But for most folks, and especially folks here in Philadelphia, Memorial Day is basically this weekend, and then until Labor Day is the best time to come visit the city of Philadelphia because there ain't nobody here. Many people in the city, and this is not just like a wealthy people thing. This is like lots of people who live in the city go down to the Jersey Shore, or they go down to the shore for the weekend. And this is not like, not everybody's like staying down there and living down the shore. But a lot of people do, their day trips. Because for me, from where I am, on a Saturday morning, it's an hour and a half drive to get down to like the beach, like the Jersey Shore, like the Atlantic Ocean. So we're close. We're not like, we're not in like that super close, but we're closer than most people that live in the country to the Atlantic Ocean. So a lot of people from Philly go down to the shore on the weekends. A lot of families have like, family owned beach houses down there that they'll go down to. So the city itself, it's kind of fascinating because in the summer it's super empty. Not only do people go down to the shore often, very frequently, but it's also a big college town. So like as soon as graduation and school ends for the year, it's like the city is empty from students and people leave to go to the beach on the weekends. It's wild. The city feels emptier during the summer. And this is the first weekend where that really starts. Okay, my timer just went off, so I have to get those cookies out of the oven because I added an extra minute on that timer based on the last cookies the last tray. So these should be ready to pull out. I'm not going to fuss over them. I'm going to just take them out of the oven. And we're going to put those directly on the counter. This tray is cool enough that I can just handle it. The actual edges are cold on there, so we'll put that to the back. We'll get these out. We'll tap these one more time. They were definitely puffy, as expected, as it said they would be. This little one down the bottom is a bit more cooked than the others, but is still looking pretty nice. So we have a tray of hot cookies. These are literally fresh out of the oven. These are still, those are very soft in the middle. We're gonna move those to the side and put those on the counter. Whoa, that one is still also very hot despite being in its own little container. Watermelon is gonna go in the fridge now. Nine, you preferred the unheated chai cookie. That's great. They were really good. I thought that those cookies held their flavor too after a while. Some of them, I say held their flavor. I don't mean that the other ones got bad. What I mean to say is that they were still pretty good after like a few days, like days, a few weeks. I just had the last ones that I had kept, I think, on Tuesday. Yeah, literally Tuesday. And they were great. I had vacuum sealed. I got a couple of the packets that were vacuum sealed, and those were still in the cabinet, and I indulged in one. I'm glad you liked them. Yeah, I think that with those, if the thing was soft, like I think reheating them probably didn't like make them softer again. It probably just warmed them up and they were still a little bit crunchy. So I could see why they might be better just as a room temp situation. Ty says, I get to work all weekend because we open the deck bar for the summer. Better tips, but more stress because more busy. Right. And you're probably on your feet more. I would imagine the day goes by a little quicker though. Like I feel like, especially in like a service industry where you're just like working constantly, like, so yeah, sometimes when it's super busy, it's just like the day just goes because you're not like idle, like you're never idle. Tips are nice, but like there's definitely a balance of like let's not tip, like I would take less tips if it meant like less rude customers. Not that customers are always rude, but certainly with a higher volume of customers means that more of them are likely to be rude. That is a fact. That is a locked in ratio, I think. All right, let's give one of these cookies a try. I think that's important to my mental health in this moment. I believe. We have 25 cookies. That made more than I was expecting. The recipe says 20. That actual yield 25. And now we get to, because we've finished making these, we get to put a pink Post-it note on this page. We put the blue one back in the back of the book. So I keep extra Post-it notes in most of my cookbooks on like this back page here, or in the back cover. And that way, if I'm going through again, because what I do with my cookbooks is I'll go through, like today when I was like, what am I going to make today? I went through and like put a blue Post-it note on some of the ones I was considering making on the edge. Now I'm just going to move those blue Post-it notes to the tops of the page so they're not sticking out on the side. But yeah, these cookies look good. I mean, they've really the ones from the first round have started to are definitely cooled off. Let's see. Would I say that these are? What did it say? Let the cookies cool completely before removing from the pan. Well, are these completely cooled? No. But like, what do they mean when they say completely? Like, how completely is completely, really? These are good enough that I can hold them without them flopping around. I'm just twisting each of them to sort of release them from the parchment paper underneath. But these are some good looking chocolate chip cookies that we made today. These look like classic chocolate chip cookies, which they are. These are the soft chocolate chip cookies. I will venture to say that these are the best looking chocolate chip cookies I've ever made. Also, I don't think that I make, usually the cookies have some other like angle to them or component or something. These just like look like chocolate chip cookies. Like, I know that's a silly thing to say, but you know, for the past couple months for Cookie Club, I've been making cookies from the 108 Asian Cookies cookbook. From, you know, before that, I was making I always pick something that's like a little interesting or unique or seasonal for that. But these are quite literally like your baseline chocolate chip cookie, and I kind of love that. Ty says the locals can be bullies to the new Karens, which is good and bad. It's funny sometimes, but because it's deserved. Right. I think also with the locals, you probably get into the like, oh, I'm here all the time, I'm entitled to like better something, better service, better whatever, better something. Which is sometimes okay. Okay, let's try one of these chocolate chip cookies. I think that's what we should be doing here. I'm also looking to see where we want to go. As I said earlier, this is a little shorter stream today, so we're going to be we heading out in just a little bit here. Looking in the food and drink channels, there's a few folks on. Looking at live channels I follow, because it's a weird time for me to try to find a channel to raid into, because I don't often raid at 3 p.m. on a Thursday. I'm usually still live at 3 p.m. on a Thursday. But there are a few folks live whose streams I enjoy watching, so I think we're gonna raid into one of those. I think we might jump out of food and drink today and go into a different style stream. And I think I know where we're gonna go if they're still staying live. Okay, they are. Cool. All right, so let's try one of these cookies, and then I think I know where we're gonna go today. These are your soft, what is the formal title of these cookies? Hold on. These are soft chocolate chip cookies from the 100 Cookies Cookbook by Sarah Kieffer. Here is your gratuitous cookie shot. There it is. They are looking nice on the inside. Hold on. They're a little bit soft, which is good. They're supposed to be soft. It's literally in the name. So let's give one of these a try. Yeah, they look good. Oh, this is what the bottoms look like. All right, here's one that's not broken. So bottoms are like slightly browned. Tops look like a typical chocolate chip cookie. This is the most standard looking cookie I believe that I've ever made. It looks like what you'd expect a chocolate chip cookie to look like. And fuck if it doesn't taste like one too. Yup, that was a good cookie. Zero complaints. Yeah, zero complaints. Oh, it does. They do look like a store-bought cookie. They're they formed. They're real easy to form, and they all they all spread pretty evenly. And that is soft. I mean, that's a soft chocolate chip cookie. That was really good. Like, no notes. Like, no. I always have a note. It's always a note. I would say that the mix of chocolate is interesting because I used bittersweet and unsweetened. And so it's a little less cloyingly sugary than I think a regular, like a standard chocolate chip with like semi-sweet chocolate chips in it might be, which I love. So this is definitely like a darker chocolate version but they're still pretty solid. You know what I wish I'd have done with these? I wish I'd have put just like a very little tiny bit of salt on them while they were still hot, so it would stick. Like just a pinch of salt on the top would be magnificent. These are very happy with how these turned out. Very happy with how they are. Okay, I have some options for you. Do we want, so here, I have 4 options for you. These are folks whose streams I enjoy, and I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you a description of them without saying who they are. Do we want to go see someone doing live mixed house music, as in DJ streamed? A DJ stream doing house music? Do we want to go to a Marbles on Streamer just chatting streamer who is currently playing marbles and doing giveaways all day because it's Thursday? Do we want to see a streamer talking about Twitch and Twitch news, or live streaming and live streaming news? Or do we want to see a ASMR, not ASMR, but a very like nature sounds kayaking stream? Outdoor stream. Those are our 4 options today. I'm gonna eat another cookie. I'm inclined. I know where my head is at. I'm curious. So Twinderella says music. Sofa and Cyber are interested in the kayaking one. White miso and brown butter. Yeah, putting miso in here with the salt would be good. Joe says option 5. I keep going. Yo, I need to get out of here today. We have some packing. I have some more packing to do. We're going on a trip this weekend. I'm packed, like literally the car is packed, but I have like a pile full of stuff that's sort of disparately gathered from around the house. Okay, I'm with you. I think Joe says kayak too. I think kayak is great. I like the kayak stream. So we're gonna go visit a friend of the stream. Someone who's been in chat a couple times, who usually streams very early in the morning Eastern Standard Time. This is Debbie CSM. Debbie is 40 minutes into their stream, and is literally kayaking. I can't hear it because I don't have the sound on my end. But here's the other folks that I was going to send you to. We have Patrick Richards, a music streamer, Gingerbread Beauty, who is doing who's doing marbles on stream, and our news streamer is my favorite, Zach, ZACHBUSSEY. Is that how you spell his name? I can't ever remember. BUSSEY. Yes, it is. Okay. And Zach is doing news streams. Oh wait, we have the shout out queued, so they'll come in eventually as we hit our raid going on here. So thank you for the raid messages in chat. We're going to go visit Debbie CSM. So let's start that raid. Yeah, let's start. I'm going to start that raid. And if those shout outs don't go through, just go click on their names because those folks are great. Okay. But did we start the raid? Where is the thing? There's usually a bar. Oh, okay. It's on the other screen. Okay, buy sounds are on. Raid messages in chat. Thank you very much. We also have some social media links in chat. Deathwish, hello. Hold on for the raid. Nice to have you. My God. Bye-bye. Oh my God, listen to all those sounds. Those are awful. I feel like the goodbye sounds don't drop into the queue. Maybe we can change that. Let's do bye in you. All right, cool. YouTube, thank you for hanging out today. Good to have you all here. This is the part where I say goodbye, and I hope you have a good one. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you're not already.